ladies and gentlemen, wonderful people, this is Call of Duty Fanatics. Welcome back to another Warzone report, and in this one we are going to analyze frame by frame everything what actually happened yesterday. Now, yesterday was a kind of a busy day for Warzone and Verdansk in particular, because we finally got the closing or outro video or cinematic for Warzone Season 6. Many of you already commented on the trailer that it's kind of confusing what was happening, etc. But before we proceed any further, we need to watch this cinematic again. And of course, it's also an absolute imperative that you stay with us until end of this video, because things are not exactly as they look.
This one's all yours, brother.
Adler, you took your time.
It's over. Your sick experiment is done.
12, 19, 14.
Don't waste your breath. I'm clean.
I figured. It was worth a try. My work was finished before your little act of rebellion. This changes nothing.
Tell me where Perseus is.
You never understood. Perseus was never one man. It's an ideal. Bigger than any of us.
Well, spare me your horse shit. Where the fuck is Perseus?
Right here. Cancer took him in '83.
No.
A great man with great vision. He was not the first Perseus, just as I will not be the last.
You're coming with me. There's blood on your hands.
Big words from the Scourge of Verdansk.
Fuck you. I wasn't in my right mind. You saw to that.
You Westerners. So squeamish. Look at where we are. This was the Eastern Front. The blood of millions of my people so deep into this soil. Men and women who paid the ultimate price for what had to be done.
You're a fucking monster. I should kill you for what you've done. For what you did to me.
My life no longer matters. Do what you will. Finish what you started on Rebirth Island. My broadcast was complete. I have changed the world, Adler. In ways you can't even imagine.
The first thing that we need to pay attention is this sequence. Now we see 4 CIA operatives led by Adler or Hudson or whoever, doesn't matter, finding one of the most notorious criminals or leader of Perseus somewhere in outskirts of Verdansk, where he's praying for his former boss or whatever. That thing doesn't make sense at all. And the things got even more complicated in the next scene, where basically Stitch is again trying to brainwash Adler, but with some completely different code, which starts with 12, 14, 16, I think, which is kind of strange because it's a completely different numbers comparing to previous numbers that we know, the numbers that Adler was brainwashed with. And the things here are getting even more complicated, I would say. And the next one is when Stitch is saying to Adler that Perseus died of cancer in 1983, and that's a complete disappointment because Perseus, the old general, is one of the most iconic characters we ever had in a Call of Duty lore, and I simply cannot believe that they just write off that man by saying, yeah, cancer picked him up and that's it. Now the other thing is, the tombstone that we saw in that sequence could also be found in a war zone, in a lumber, and I reported on that a couple of days ago, where this mysterious tombstone just appeared. All of us were thinking, yeah, that's something going to be connected with the Halloween event, but it appears that this is the tombstone of the old Perseus, the general that we see in a Black Ops Cold War campaign. And now the next sequence we need to watch.
Look at where we are. This was the Eastern Front. The blood of millions of my people so deep into this soil. Men and women who paid the ultimate price for what had to be done.
Now guys, this part might be completely confusing for many of you because Stitch is referring to history of the Second World War, and in particular he's mentioning the Soviet history and the struggle of the Eastern Front. So we learned another thing about Verdansk, that Verdansk was a front line of the Eastern Front during the Second World War. And that's also important because the next Call of Duty title, which is called Call of Duty Vanguard, is also going to have multiple fronts everywhere during the Second World War. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are going to have a smaller or maybe even bigger reference to Verdansk in Call of Duty Vanguard. Now the next two frames are crucial. First of all, guys, I never had the feeling that Adler actually came to kill Stitch. To me, I got the feeling that he wants to take him in or whatever. And why this frame is important. Now, if you want to take a closer look, go back and look the cinematic again. Stitch is clearly signaling here to somebody. He's dragging his hand where his scar is, and he's watching. Look at the position of his eyes. He is watching somewhere at someone who is probably ready with a sniper, maybe to take down Adler. I know it sounds completely crazy and it would be an awesome plot twist, but this sequence and the death of Adler could actually mean why we never saw this character in other Call of Duty titles that are actually in the future, that are happening in the future after the events of the Cold War. The next and the final frame would be when Stitch closes his eyes, and then we have just a black screen and we hear the sound of a gunshot. Now many of you were referring that that's not the sound of 1911 pistol and it's more sounding like a sniper. Now honestly, I wasn't analyzing the sound of the gunshot, but the one thing I know about the Call of Duty is if you don't see somebody dead or somebody's corpse, he's not dead. So to me this looks like a setup for the next part of the Black Ops Cold War. So we might even see Black Ops Cold War 2, because there is still a lot of questions to be answered. One more reason why I think that Adler got killed in this incident and in the last cinematic we watched is this piece of information that you can see on your screen. This is the card that you unlock on the level 100, and you can actually get these only in a Black Ops Cold War, and it's displaying this strange messages. Are you on the right side? And what is real? And then we have these very strange messages, and these messages could only be sent to Adler, like look behind you, for example. And it's constantly questioning, are you on the right side? They are coming, etc. And who was on Adler's back when he was talking to Stitch? It was his colleagues from the CIA, Hudson, Mason and Woods. I honestly believe that Adler is gunned down and that he was betrayed by his own people from the CIA. And I will just remind you of another thing that we had during the Zombies campaign. Now, when you play Mauer der Toten map, you could actually gain a lot of intel where basically Eddie Richthofen sent Klaus to kill the whole team of CIA operatives in Berlin, which is kind of, you know, strange. Why would you kill your own operatives if you don't have some specific agenda? That could be the same thing here with Stitch and Adler. Anyways, my fellow Verdansk citizens, there's a lot of things to think about. Please let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this theory, and do you have some of your theories? I want to know everything, so write me down in the comments your thoughts about the latest events in Warzone. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for future great Call of Duty content. And until next time, I wish you all the best and stay frosty.